you guys, I hope you all are doing really well. Beautiful day out today. Welcome to my Enduro Tips and Riding Lessons series episode 13. So today we're going to do some interesting stuff. I got some cool stuff planned for you guys, so stick around. So yeah, you guys, I'm kind of excited about today's episode because I've got some cool stuff planned. As you can see, well, you might not be able to see, but I'm actually perched on the side of a mountain here. And we're going to go over some insanely steep hills, like traversing them and, basic bike control. I'm really trying to drive home the bike control message, the message, because bike control is going to apply to dirt bikes, it's going to apply to dual sports, adventure bikes, even on-road bikes can benefit from good bike control. So all these tips I give you guys and lessons and that, it's going to, it crosses over to any kind of bike that you have. So yeah, let's get on with it. So there's a couple quick things I'm going to mention, you guys. I got the mic in a different spot in my helmet too, so I don't know, I hope it doesn't sound weird. I guess I'll find out when I get home. Anyways, I've mentioned this before, you guys. What I like to do, and not everybody does this, but I like to do it, so do this at your own discretion. I have both of my levers quite a bit down, so if you were to put your hand across, like that, straight across your grips, a lot of guys have their levers so that they can get at it like that. I find that awkward because I spend a lot of time standing up, and when you're standing up, your natural position for your wrist is down. So I kind of split the difference between straight down and level. So because I spend a lot of time standing, which everybody should. You have the most control when you're standing. And I just think you should split the difference with it for both the clutch and the brake. I also almost always ride with one finger on the clutch and one finger on the front brake. It just helps you orient yourself to where they are, because if you come to a panic situation, you're scrambling to find your levers if it's not second nature. And like for me, it's second nature to have my fingers on there at all times. Unless I'm doing something really hardcore where I got to hold on very hard to the handlebars, then you won't be able to have one finger on there. But probably 90% of the time, maybe 95%, I've got one finger on each lever. And that's my position, and it works really good for me. So yeah, just a quick tip there. Okay, I should quickly also add about the levers, you guys. I also move the, your perch for my clutch. I move it over as far as possible. In this case, you can see my cylinders, the brake cylinders hitting the handguard. So I can't go too much more. You could get a different adapter. But anyways, I move it over as far as I can so that I can be out as far as I am on as far as I can on the lever. That gives you the most leverage. The more leverage, obviously, the easier it is. And clutch is what I'm trying to drill home to you guys. So yeah, that's another quick tip. Okay, the first scenario we're going to go over, you guys, is that hill. I hope it looks steep to you guys, because you have to believe me, I don't know what the percentage would be. I'd say 75% grade or something. Like, it's crazy steep. But it's been raining. You can see the ground is really damp and moist, and I got that good old Motos hybrid. So I got pretty crazy traction, so I'm pretty sure I can just crawl up it first. But we're going to go over a scenario first of not making it. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to just try and crawl up here and see how far I get. And then I'm going to not make, I'm going to just, I can start to feel wheel spin. So let's assume I spin out right here. Now, if you're a pretty newbie rider, like you don't have a lot of experience in crazy hills like this, what I would do, it's in gear and front brake, back brake is on. So what I would do, you guys, my left foot is down. So all I'm going to do in this scenario is just lightly let off on the clutch and try and lightly let off on the front brake to get that to come around. Now make sure that you got the bike leaning into the hill, big time leaning into the hill, because you don't want to, low side down to there. So if you're not comfortable with getting back on the bike and riding it, you remember the bulldog thing? So it's still in first. I got the front brake on and I'm using the clutch as my back brake. Now, there's a few ways you can do this. You could do that all the way down the hill, but if it's a crazy long hill, you can just do this. I do this all the time. Just lay the bike over, walk around it. You're going to be losing a bit of gas possibly, unless it's fuel injected. Get back on. I kick it into neutral, and then let's go safely back down. I stand on a lot of hills, pretty much all of them. Unless you're really comfortable, then you can just sit. So that's one way to do it. So another thing you guys can do is just roll up to the hill about where that log is. Watch. And just get a feel for the hill. So in this case, you can just go a little ways up it. See, I can feel that I'm getting really good traction. So now if you feel confident enough to try it, and I think we got good enough traction today that we could probably crawl up that in first gear. I know if we do the old second, third gear pin to win it, it'll make it. But let's see what happens in first here. There's also a good amount of grass on this trail, so I get decent traction. See, this is where your throttle control comes in, and your balance. See that? That's pretty, I gotta go off to the edge here a little bit to make that, because it's rocky and loose up here. So yeah, I hope some of those tips help you guys out. It's really about confidence. I tell people so often, you know, if you're not confident on something, then it's probably not going to go well for you, but yeah. Okay, so let's go downhill now. So I think what I would do here, you guys, that this hill is actually so steep that I probably wouldn't even try going straight down it. So hard to get the steepness through on the camera, but you could probably judge by where the water is and where the hill is. Like, if the bike got away on you, you're probably going to end up wet in the lake. So we do got a trail there. So in this situation, if you guys are, you know, say you got to go down a hill like this and you have no other way, you can first gear it, front brakes on, and I'm just got my leg off, my right leg off. And I do have it in gear, but I wouldn't advise, you know, these kind of, unless you're really confident on what you're doing, the bike can roll over and kickstart itself, and then you're flying down the hill fast. But you can use the clutch as as a back brake. But we do got a bit of a trail here, so what I would do in these situations is just keep the bike slow and in control. And you can see I'm using the clutch as a brake right now, but there's a good chance that it would bomb start if you got going too fast. So the best way to do this, you guys, is to just keep your momentum slow, just like my last video I showed you guys on the adventure bikes. Slow and in control. Go hard, hard, hard on the front brake to the point where it's almost skidding, but don't lock it up, obviously. That'll help keep your momentum under control. So here's something else that I like to do, you guys. I'm going to let you in on a few tips that I like to do. What I've done is found myself, of course I've known about this spot, but I'm just saying if you didn't know where you were, I found myself a really nice little, it's an old abandoned logging type road. Very smooth, very flat, lots of soft pine needles, and then I've got a few little banks to play on. This one in particular is quite steep. You can see it's got a little bit of a cliff thing at the top and a very short runway. Those are really, really good to practice on because they're pretty safe. I mean, unless you get to the very top and you land on the bottom, you know, on your head, but I don't recommend doing that. But I'm just saying, you know, you see how the bank goes? So there's very small hill there, medium-sized hill right here, and then you can get into this bit steeper one. So that kind of stuff is really good to challenge yourself on. You know, you can just pick away at the really little ones and go up and down it till you're confident. And it's really good. I'd like you guys to focus on going slow for the approach. Don't hit it like, you know, like a maniac. like I used to do in high school. Remember those days where you just hit anything as fast as you could go? The idea, once you get better on a motorcycle, is to use that clutch and throttle control and your balance, and then just pick the line you want, figure out in your head, and you got to see yourself doing what you want to do, because if you have any hesitations, then don't even try it. Like I say, start on the smaller, work your way up, and then it'll all start to come together once you get the idea. But confidence is one of my favorite words. You just got to have confidence on your motorcycle, or it's just going to be really sketchy for you. So let's go over a few of these little hills and I'll show you what I mean here. So I really like this smaller little hill here, you guys. It's got a little bit of a log on top, so that's gonna, I guess I don't need the Kickstarter, do I? I forget what bike I'm on. So the idea of these drills, you guys, watch my episode 1 and, you know, mastering your balance. The whole idea is to get your balance to a point where you can just go slow like this without your feet down, pick where you want to be. Okay, you see how I do that there? So I get a bit of momentum at the bottom and then pull the clutch in at the top so you don't spin your way up to it. Actually, let's turn around and do it the other way. So what you're going to want to do, slow, 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 feet are on the pegs. I see where I want to go. I kind of wheelie into the hill. I'm almost stopped right now. You see how that works? It's pretty, again, one of my other favorite words, momentum, momentum. Without momentum, you're not going to get over anything. So if you want to go at the easier one on the bottom without any... Can you hear what my bike's doing? So my clutch is kind of feathered on the hill. I guess you could say I'm coasting up it. That's how you get no wheel spin, so listen. See, that's all about that launch control. So, you know, that's how you see those guys like Graham Jarvis go over those hills and they don't even spin a tire. So let's try the log here again. I hit that one a little hard, but all that technique's the same. Okay, so listen to the bike here, what I'm doing. You hear that? Almost coasting up. All right, you guys, let's move on to the Big Daddy here. You can see that's near vertical. And there's zero runway here. The key that I'm trying to drive home, you guys, is to get up this without even spinning a wheel. And you know how we go about that? It's our favorite word, momentum. Okay, you get your balance, get on your pegs, and get all your speed at the bottom. I dabbed at the top there, but we got this. That's a wicked little challenge. You see that? There's barely a mark on the hill. Let's try this again. No dabs. See that? I didn't even spin a tire. So the key there is just, you know, I don't quite let the clutch out all the way at the bottom. Well, actually, I probably let it close to all the way out, but I pull it halfways in. Let's try this from an angle. That's not gonna work. One more time, coast up it. Nicely done. You see that? You can hear my bike really well. So I'll run you guys through it real quick. So I'm in line with the hill here just so that you can see what's going on in my head. So I'm just sitting here and I'm seeing myself doing this. You can apply this to anything. It doesn't have to be this hill. The point is the same. I'm getting my confidence and I'm seeing myself doing this. When I feel confident in my balance, it's in check. I'll hop up on the pegs. I'll inch forward a little bit with the clutch. And then when I throw my body weight forward, actually I let the clutch out first to get the momentum of the bike moving forward. And that will allow you to push yourself. It's really hard to explain actually. When the bike's going forward, you can pull backwards and push into the bike to help push more momentum up the hill. I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's actually what's happening. So you're pulling back and you're pushing into the hill to help your body weight push the bike up the hill. So I'll run it in slow motion like I always do, and hopefully I got a good angle and you'll see what I'm talking about. And that helps carry your momentum up there. And you can see I didn't spin a tire once up that. And that's a pretty, that's a pretty tall bank that's near vertical. I don't know can you see from the side how steep that is? If you judge the trees are 90 degrees or almost straight up, so that's how you do that. And that's just a good, like I say, go down to the smaller ones if you're not confident on something silly like that, and just practice on a little bank, and just practice with your momentum and just get that clutch throttle, just get it going on, because that's the key to everything on a motorcycle. It doesn't matter what you're doing, unless you're cheating with a recluse, which I wouldn't recommend, but some people have to. But anyways, so I guess this traversing insanely steep hills turned into more of a how to climb steep banks. But anyways, all the principles are the same really, no matter what I'm doing. The point that I want to make is clutch, throttle, balance, using the clutch at the right time, not getting careless with it. Like, just don't dump it. Like if I was on my CR500, I'd probably just lay a patch of rubber, you know what I'm saying? Like, but finesse is what you want to do on street, dirt, wherever you are. It's just kind of how you want to go about it. So yeah, you guys, I hope that some of those tips help you guys out. I've definitely got a lot more videos in store for you guys. I'm going to do some braking and cornering and high-speed stuff and all kinds of stuff. I hope to get to some of it this fall, but in the meantime, drop some comments below if you guys have any ideas for videos. And just like this picture, if you guys are new to my channel, definitely hit the subscribe button, because it's going to help out the whole community. Because if we can grow my channel, then YouTube's going to share all these videos with more riders in the community, and essentially you're helping everybody. So also, like the picture here, you guys, the drop down arrow has links to all my social media, and I got a website if you want to check out some of my background information. And I got a really cool video planned for this fall. It's going to be a history of Heddletown video, so it's going to be really neat. I think you guys are going to really like it. So definitely drop some comments, hit the old thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Thanks for watching.